Hello everyone, good evening, and Team Synergy would first of all like to thank you all for joining in this resume making session on this Sunday evening. We have a wonderful, lovely crowd of 125 people right now, and more will be soon joining us. Um, I'm glad you guys chose to spend your Sunday evening doing something productive. If not anything, I can guarantee you by the end of this session, you would have a clear and good idea of how to create a good resume and how to present yourself to a recruiter or to a hiring team. So, before moving on forward, let me take this opportunity to introduce myself to you all. I am Param Shendikar and I am currently an IT undergrad at KJ Somaiya College of Engineering. With me as my co-mentor is Mihir Gada. He is from Comms Department of KJ Somaiya College of Engineering. He'll be also mentoring this session, and after my part, he'll be explaining a few things to you. So, before starting, let me introduce what Team Synergy or Synergy as a community does. Me and Mihir, we both are the co-founders of Synergy Community. It is a community of students for the students and a registered campus company of KJ Somaiya College of Engineering. Uh, by now, we have taken one single course, which was the front-end web development course. It lasted for over 7 weeks, and we had almost 150 regular students who would attend sessions and ask doubts and created their projects and submitted it to us. The flow of the course was that we taught basics of front-end web development and then moved on to advanced. We covered topics like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, jQuery, and some more additional JavaScript stuff. The end result of this course was that we got almost 70 lovely projects from students like you, and we have featured the best projects also on our Instagram and LinkedIn channels. So if you do follow us, you might have seen them, and if you do not follow us on our Instagram, which is underscore Synergy Community underscore. The motivation behind taking this particular session was that we looked upon the resumes of our friends and colleagues, and we noticed that in the name of resumes they had absolutely nothing. It was just a piece of paper on which they had listed down things. Things do not work like that. And also, the other motivation behind this session was that, as you guys may know, since majority of the crowd today are engineers, as you guys know that according to the new All India Council Technical Education rules, the engineers are made 14 weeks of internship compulsory. And in order to get these internships, you need a good resume. Because without a good resume, you won't get good internships, and then you would lose out on your degree certificate, which as per the rules of AICTE. So we would be glad if you could pay close attention to what we want to tell you guys today. It would be beneficial if you note down important points on a piece of paper with the pen, or since you are the millennials, you can also open the notes of your phone and list down points. So the things that we are going to discuss in today's session are listed in front of you. We'll be talking about the difference between resume and CV. Yeah, that comes as a surprise, right? Every one of you must have used the words resume and CV interchangeably. Someone must have asked you for your resume, you would have submitted your CV, but in no cause, because you did not know that there exists a difference between them two. We will be also discussing who is a recruiter and how does he look at your resume and how to impress a recruiter more such. We'll be talking about how the different resumes can be created for different jobs that you're applying for. Not every job title requires the same kind of resume. Let me tell you that beforehand. We'll be talking about it front. We'll be also telling what should your resume format be, how should you structure your resume. There should not be any haphazardness in the way you write your resume. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be also talking about the do's and don'ts of resume making. There are certain things which are unwritten, but they need to be followed, and we will be talking about them. After which we'll be showing our own resumes, and we'll be scrutinizing them. We'll be mentioning how we made them, what was the idea behind putting a particular thing at a particular place in that particular resume, since it is directed towards a particular job title. So we'll be covering that part also, and then we'll be open to your doubts, which you can still ask on the chat section. We'll take them as we reach further. So moving on forward, let me tell you why do we need a resume first of all. Like why at all do we need a sheet of paper to be showing or exemplifying our learnings, our skills, etc. You would have seen the post where it says that a single sheet of paper cannot decide my future. But my friends, let me tell you, it does. There is no other difference. There is no other way that you can get an opportunity at a good company without a resume, because they are not going to call you for face-to-face interviews directly. They will shortlist you on the basis of your resume, and the recruiter will scrutinize your resume. They will find out if you match the company's requirement, and then and only then they will call you for an face-to-face interview. So if, for example, a company is listing out a job, they might get thousands of applications for that particular job, but then they will choose the best 100 out of it and then call those people for resume for the interview. So that is why you need a good resume. And so yes, it all comes down to a single sheet of paper eventually. Moving on forward, let me tell you the difference between resume and CV. If you guys did not know, there exists a difference between resume and CV. You guys must have used the terms interchangeably, but let me clear that in beforehand that those two phenomena are different. So let me first define what is a resume for you, or let me tell you first what is a CV. CV is an acronym for curriculum vitae. It is a document which has your entire academic and career related life mapped out on a particular thing. So that is CV. And what is resume? Resume is not what we thought it might be. We always create our CVs unknowingly, but resumes are different. Resumes are supposed to be to the point. To the point as in, if you're applying for a particular job title, which for example is a Python developer job title, or if you are applying for a photographer position for a magazine, then your resume should revolve around that job title, and it should be focused on getting that particular job, so that we say that a resume is to the point and not just like a CV. Second difference between them is that a CV needs to be constantly updated, because just as I said, it is entire academic and career related life mapped out in front of you. Your CV needs to be constantly updated. Any small accomplishment, any project you do, any internship you do, be it in any domain, you guys need to maintain that in your CV. And coming to the resume, it need not be updated every time, because say you're a tech person and you will be only applying for tech related jobs. And if you complete a photography course, then you need not mention that in your tech-related resume, because nevertheless, no recruiter is going to look at your resume and find out that yes, you have did a photography job, so isko job dena chahiye. Nobody is going to think like that, because requirements are clear and cut. They want what they want, and they are not going to look at your photography skills for giving you a tech job, and vice versa. So that is the second point of difference. The third point of difference is that you maintain a single CV. Like there need not be multiple CVs. A single CV is fine, because you have everything listed down there. And from your CVs, you get your resumes. Getting my point? Because it is for our reference and for different kind of jobs. So we look at our CV, we take down important points, and then we mention it on our resume and send out our resumes to the companies. So that is the third point of difference. Coming to the fourth point of difference is that the length of what the documents, what length should a CV be, what length should a resume be. So generally speaking, there is no particular length restriction on a CV, because it has to be everything. So, but in general, it is 2 to 8 pages of sheets. And coming to your resume, it is 1 to 2 pages long. So always restrict your resumes to 1 page. Try and restrict yourself into listing your accomplishments in a single page, because no recruiter wants to turn out pages and see if you have that particular skill listed out. If all of your accomplishments are listed on a single sheet, then he can have a glance and he can decide whether or not to take you. So restrict yourself into making resumes of single page. If at all you have the need to go to the second page, then make sure that you're filling out the second page completely. Do not just write one line or two paragraphs of information on your second page and leave it blank. That is a very bad practice while making a resume. So make sure that you follow this. And the last point of difference between resume versus CV is that CVs are prepared for academic applications. For example, if after your undergraduate degree, you need to do higher studies, you need to do masters in some field, then you would send out your CVs to those universities or those countries, those universities where they will look out of your CV and decide what kind of a person are you, what are you able to get the seat in their university and so on. But resumes are usually prepared for job interviews and nothing else. So I hope I have cleared the difference between resumes and CVs for you. If at all there is any particular thing that you did not understand, put it in the comment section, chat section. We'll answer it for you the next during the doubts. Moving forward, we'll be talking about resumes and recruiters. I'll be clearing out to you who is a recruiter and what does he do and how would he look at your resume. So let's clear about who is a recruiter. Many of you might have heard this word but might not understand entirely what he does. So a recruiter is a person hired by a company who looks into hiring new talents and new people for their company's job responsibilities. So he knows his job well. Because a recruiter is a specialist, he knows his job well. He knows how to get the best out of a resume. He knows how to scrutinize the resume, and that is why he's a professional. The second point is that he knows what he wants. A company, when it lists out the jobs or internships, it notifies its hiring team or its recruiter that these are the set of responsibilities that we are going to give this person. These are the set of skills that we'll be looking on from the person. So scrutinize the resume applications that you get on the basis of this particular topic. So he knows what he wants for the company and he knows what to expect from your resume if at all you are going to get selected. So yeah, that is the second point. Third, he knows to analyze and summarize your resume by just a glance. So let me tell you in the example of numbers, you will be astonished to know that the hundreds of resumes that a recruiter goes through, he just looks at a single resume for 7 seconds. Yes, 7 seconds and he's done with your resume. You have just 7 seconds to impress a person in order to get yourself called for a live person interview at the dream company. So yeah, 7 seconds is all that you have, and that is why your resume should be the best whatever you send. So a recruiter searches for keywords and looks for proofs. Now, since I told that he knows what he wants, he'll always scan the resume on the basis of the keywords. Like if the job opening is for a photographer who has invested time into wildlife photography, then he'll look at your resume to search keywords like nature lover or keywords like photographer with experience in some national park, interned at some national park for photography and stuff like that. If you are a tech related person and if you are applying for a job of web developer, we'll look into your resume for keywords like web developer, full stack web developer, the skills that you have listed down. Your skill section should have skills which are related to web development like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap and stuff like that, and not just not any random skills which you possess like speech giving or good photography skills. That is not what he is looking for. He looks for good keywords in your resumes, and he looks for proofs. Proofs as in not just certificates, but the projects that you have completed. We'll be talking about this further. He looks for his major interest in your work experience. As you guys might know, that the internships that we always apply for have a criteria that this particular person should have this much amount of experience in this particular skill. Yeah, that is unreasonable, I know, because we are all freshers and will be venturing into the industry soon. But yeah, that is what they want. And work experience does not come just by working for a company or working in a company. Work experience comes also when you implement a project of your own. Like whatever you learn, apply it. Don't just keep it as a certificate on your local machine and don't do anything about it. Whatever you learn, Just try and apply it, make projects out of it, implement it in such a way that you can then showcase that you have learned this. So that is what I want to say. And the last conclusion of whatever explanation I gave about a recruiter is that you need to impress a single person, a single human being, and that is all that you need in order to get called in for a live interview at your dream company. So yeah, keep that in mind that you have to impress a person and not a machine. So make sure that you make your resumes like that. Moving on forward, we'll be seeing about how to impress a recruiter. Now, the first point in impressing a person, impressing a recruiter, is you need to advertise yourself well. Advertising yourself because you are in the need of job and they need to know that you deserve that job. That is why you need to advertise yourself well. Then this advertising also depends upon what kind of job that you're applying for or what kind of person you are, what kind of skills that you possess. It all is interrelated. So like for example, if you have a creative role, then you need to give designing references in your resume, like portfolio that you have created or the online Pinterest account that you have maintained for your photographs or anything like that, or the internships that you have done. You can just list out the links or the references to that particular part, and that is how he or she, the recruiter, will come to know that you are experienced in that profession. Coming on to technical roles, if you are venturing out for a technical job or interview or internship, then you need to list out your projects, and that is how they will know that you have work experience and you are not just learning but also implementing things. That puts out a very good and positive message, and they will be impressed. This is my experience. If at all, if be it any role, the main point is that you need to pour in proofs. The assertions that you make that you are good and well versed in Python or photography or Photoshop, they'll not just believe you just because you have stated that. They'll not give you the job just because you have asserted that on your resume. You need to pour in your proofs. You need to pour in proofs as in the certificates that you have done for online course. Major importance will be given to the work experience that you have in that particular field, the projects that you have completed for that particular field. So always back your assertions with proofs and always maintain those proofs. And the last point in advertising yourself is using your social media presence well. So how to use your social media presence well? I'll state that, see, if you are applying for any non-tech job, any job that involves creativity, any job that involves creative thinking or graphic designing and stuff like that, then you can list out your social media handles of Instagram, Pinterest, and stuff like that, because then that would be a great exhibition. Your feed, your Instagram feed would be a great exhibition of what you do as a creative person. If you have maintained a good Instagram feed, if you have uploaded your photographs, if you are a photography person and you have a photography page on Instagram and Facebook, you can definitely put that in onto your resumes, and the recruiter will make sure that he will go through that, and then that is a good chance of you to get selected. If you are a tech related person, then I would suggest you maintain a good LinkedIn profile, because that's where a measure of the industry is. That's where they look for people. That's where you get to showcase your talents. And if you have a good LinkedIn profile, then it is very good for any tech related job. Moving on forward, the second point in how to impress a recruiter is they'll need to follow a particular format. While making a resume, there should be no haphazardness. By haphazardness, I mean that if you are starting with your education section, if you are mentioning what education you have on your resume, if you mention that this is your cumulative grade point till now, till SEM 4 or SEM 5, then you mention that this is your HSC grade, and you just leave it and you start with your experience, and in second column you realize that no, I have not listed down my 10 standard marks, and then you try to fit in that particular thing in your second column, then that is not a good practice. That is not at all expected, and it would leave a very bad impression in front of your in front of the recruiter. So follow a particular structure. There should not be any haphazardness in how you write. Just maintain a proper sequence of what you write. We'll be talking and we'll be sharing about the sequence in the resumes that we'll be showcasing, our own personal resumes. then you need to prioritize your education if you have less experience. Like as I stated, the companies need experience, job experience. So people like us, we are not exposed to the industry, and some of us might have not completed a lot of internships. In that case, you need to prioritize your education. If at all you were a rank holder in your school, or in your HSC or in your SSC, then you need to mention that and highlight that and bring that to the notice of the recruiter. Next, we need to follow reverse chronological order. Reverse chronological means the steps in which something goes. Reverse chronological means the reverse steps in which something goes. So reverse chronological order we need to follow for our education, for our experience, and for the projects that we have done. Like in the education section, always mention your the CGPA first, then mention about your 12 standard marks, then mention about your 10 standard marks. Similarly, in the internship section, mention about the internship that you have done latest, so that the recruiter knows that you have been working in this particular domain, in this particular skill recently. And if the job title requires a particular section of particular way, particular domain of internships, then make sure that you list out that first. Then we need to also include stuff which is relevant to the job and internship. If you're applying, it is easy. If you're applying for a tech job, don't mention anything that is don't mention random things like that you had got an A grade in your intermediate exam, or if you're applying for a creative role, don't. There is no need to mention that you were you had given a national talent search examination, or you were an Olympiad rank holder. That is not going to matter if you're applying for a creative role. So just mention stuff which is relevant to your job and internship. Moving on forward, we'll discuss the do's and don'ts of resume making. So make sure that you construct your sentences well. If you write sentences like handled and improved website traffic, then that is not a good practice. You need to make sure you construct your sentences in a particular format which will look attractive to the recruiter's eyes. A format that is usually followed is that I did this in this and achieved this. I did A in B and achieved C. So the good sentence in resume would look like, I worked on the backend to improve the efficiency of server and reduced the response time down by 1 second, leading to an increased website traffic by 10%. This is very good. A recruiter would look at this and think of it that you have done a lot of work and you know your stuff. Even if you know that it was not a lot of work, but you need to construct your sentences in such a way that you make the recruiter believe that you have done a lot of work. So yeah, that is how you construct good sentences. Second point is include action words, include verbs in your resume making. By action words, I mean words like worked, improved, reduced, handled, negotiated, uplifted, etc. Because then that would, in the subconscious mind of a recruiter, that would give a positive vibe. He or she would think of you as an active person who is actively contributing to the company's development and stuff like that. So make sure you use good words. Then third point is focus majorly on projects. Like we have seen that after this pandemic started, we have gotten access to various courses on Coursera, Udemy, and we have bulk of time, and that is why we have completed a lot of courses. But don't just make those courses your ornaments. Don't exhibit your talent by the certificates that you got after completing the courses. Of course, you have learned a lot, I know, but then a recruiter won't believe unless and until he sees the implementation of the skills that you learned during those processes. So certificates matter, but don't make them your ornaments. Exhibit your work majorly. Learn the skills from the certificate courses, apply them, and make that your ornament. Make the people, show the people that you have implemented stuff and you have projects under your belt. Moving on forward, we'll talk about the don'ts of resume making. First and the very important don't is do not lie. Never ever lie on your resume. Because see, the scene is that by not lying on your resume, you might miss out on one job. But if you lie on your resume and if then you get caught, then you are directly into the bad books of the company, because the company maintains a database of who all people have applied for their jobs, who all have applied for their internships, and then they will cross a red mark against your name that this person lies on his resume and he does not have skills. So a bad image will lead on to you missing out on further jobs. So do not ever lie on your resume. That is the most important thing. Do not oversell yourself. Do not oversell yourself. Like if you're doing a particular, if you're applying for a particular job, don't do don't do 5 or 10 certificate courses in that. That is overselling yourself. Even if you have done 2 to 3 good courses and you have applied your knowledge somewhere, that is fine. That is completely fine. So do not oversell yourself, and do not put up irrelevant information. For example, if you are looking out for a tech job, then no recruiter would want to know that you had won a speech giving competition back in your school or college days. Even if it was state level or national level, no one would appreciate you being a good speech giver, because all you have to do is do coding, and that is a tech job. That is what is the requirement of tech job. So do not put up irrelevant information. Also, for another example, that if you are applying for a creative job, then no recruiter would want to know that you had learned C++ back in your 11th and 12th standard, and you had given an online quiz in which you got 50% and above, and you got a certificate of participation. That is very unnecessary and irrelevant information. Do not mention it. Do not talk about your weaknesses. Yeah, that is a very valid point. If do not talk about your weaknesses, if at all you have gotten a bad score on in a particular semester, do not mention it your individual grade points. You can mention your cumulative grade point, but do not mention your individual grade points if at all they are bad. Do not use unprofessional email address. We have all been victim of this. When internet was introduced to us, we might have made emails like johncena@gmail.com or 12345 something like that. Do not use those email address. Do not list them out on your resume. Even if you want to use them on your personal use, but don't showcase them on your resume. So those are the important do's and don'ts of resume making. And I'll be concluding my part, and I'll be handing over the session to Mihir, and he'll be explaining further things to you.
Thank you, Param, for your great insight on resume and CV. So now I will explain the text editors or the design softwares or websites from where you can create your resume. I will explain my own resume, that how I have written, why I have written, and I have created 2 separate versions, and in those resume. So I will explain why those 2 versions are different and why I did that. I will also explain my CV, that is a bit different from resume, and then we will be like concluding our session before doubts. So yeah. So first, I would like to I would like to tell you that keep these things in mind before like creating a resume. That keep it non-fancy. Non-fancy in the sense, on websites you will see like colorful designs are there, or a background image is there, like borders are there. Borders are fine, but don't use background images and everything. Reason being, if you create a fancy resume and if a recruiter wants to take a printout, so because of that fancy resume, your printout won't come fine, because no recruiter will use color Xerox. So that is why the second point is use make a black and white resume. Black and white resume need not be a Word document exactly, but you can create a proper format, or like give a black column or a black titles or something. Keep your resume single page only, as you know that resume are the short form of CV, that are you have to make your resume based on your job profile. Hence, try to keep them one page. If you exceed your resume to a second page, then try to fill the second page completely. Like don't keep 1.5 page or 1.25 page or something like that. So first preference is one page, and if second page, then fill it completely. Try to fit your resume. Fit in the sense, if you feel that you want to add more things, you can like reduce the spacing, reduce the margins, and try to fit your resume. And if most of the people are from first year going to second year, you people don't have much of things to write in your resume for work experience or projects. So you can like give more spacing, increase the fonts, and just fit your resume properly. It should not be an empty thing, and it should not be a completely filled thing also. Like if a recruiter is reading something, he or she should not get lost in your resume. And one more thing is, do not add photo in your resume. That is the most important thing. As I said earlier, if a recruiter wants to take a printout and everything, that would not be a great thing. So now, for during I made my resume, I around checked for 2 to 3 days for various editors to create resume. I created around 5 to 6 various websites, and I tried. Most of them are paid, most of them are free, but not that good. So that is why I came up with top four, which are the most widely used and the best, you can say. First one is LaTeX. LaTeX is a markup language like HTML, to be like in a vague way. And the Overleaf editor is a website where you can edit your resume or any like the LaTeX is nothing but the language which is used to create your research papers or any templates or letters or anything. So it is currently widely used, but being a markup language, most of the people don't like it as नया language सीखना पड़ेगा or something. As I myself don't use LaTeX because I don't want to learn a new language. But I came up upon LaTeX in recent 6 months, but now most of the people are just going into second year. So if you want to create a great resume, you can go and learn LaTeX, and like you just have to go and search a specific need, and you just have to copy paste your text. Then thing is canva.com. Most of the people must be knowing canva.com as to make posters and resumes, templates, logos and everything. But canva.com has a great variety of resumes. But if you like those templates, just choose a black and white template and customize as per your need. Then it is Visual CV. Visual CV is a uh, good platform to create a curriculum vitae, that is CV. But for resume, it is very difficult to concise your resume into one page. As so, you can create your CV in Visual CV. I will explain each and everything, like how you can customize your things while creating your resume in every text editors. Then it is MS Word or Docs. Um,
जरा शांति रखो ना.
uh, uh, whose microphone is on? Like, can you just close? Yeah. So in MS Word or Google Docs, avoid using Google Docs, or else like you can do is download a template from Google Doc and create in MS Word. The customization will be a quite difficult in MS Word, so you can prefer the previous above text editors. So before starting anything, like you want to create a resume or CV, or in future if you want to fill any form. So before doing everything, you just the best thing is to create a master document. So first, what is master document? Master document means you keep your each and every detail in a document. Each and every detail means personal details, education details, project details, experience, your most of the links you have. Like now, like if you want to search any certificate you have uploaded on a Google Drive, you go and search into folders and everything. But you have those links in a document, that would be a much easier part. Like you create a proper document, and then just while creating a CV and resume, you just have to copy paste your things. Now the reason being, this master document will also help you during your interviews. For example, if you have made a project or you have a work experience like jiska report hai, so during your interviews, the recruiter will ask like, tell me about your project. Now, if I am at your place, I will just think like, if someone asks me, just like tell me about the projects, how to start about my project. If a person asks you a specific topic inside that, you can explain it easily. But starting from scratch till the end, it becomes a difficult thing. So that is where this master document, you can like keep your reports, or your features of your projects, your links, your GitHub links of your project, or if you have hosted your project, when you made that project, where you made that project, for what you made. You can add each and every detail. I will explain my master document, which I have edited for this session, as I have removed my personal details too. So yeah. So the master document includes each and everything listed here, starting from personal details, the summary which you write, like if you how you yourself know, but how can I explain, like how you know yourself. That's the most important thing in summary. What you want to do in future, all and what things you are interested in. You can all write all those things in your summary. You can write all your educational details starting from 10th standard, 12th standard, all or each and every semester marks, because if you have all those things together, it will help you a lot rather than searching your certificates, searching your mark sheets here and there. So you can add your experience details, your project details, all your skills. If you learn a new thing, if you are good with that, just add it in your master document. All your certification details. So now, if you have done certifications on Coursera, you can see like there are codes, there are verification links and everything. Yeah, you can add it on your LinkedIn and everywhere. So to now, if you want to add it anywhere, you have to open Coursera, go to that course and everything. But if you have everything in your master document, it will be much more easier to retrieve those data. Then all the major links. Major links include, as I said earlier, your certificate links, and if you have any YouTube videos, you can just add all those links. It will help you anywhere. Your volunteer work details, your interests, hobbies, strength, weaknesses, your research work publication details, and your participations. So yeah. So the now previously I mentioned the complete details in experience project work. Now those complete details include, like, you can add each and every minute detail if you want, starting from name of the project, organization, company you made, the now for experience, the position, like what was your position during that internship, like from when to when you did a project or experience, your tech stack of your project, your features of your project details, and each and everything, like a report if you have, you can just add there. You can add links to your reports. Then team details, like if you have any project with a team, you can just add your team details. So if you want to add that things anywhere, you can just copy paste from there. So now I will open my master document. Yeah. So just a second, I will zoom it. I hope this is visible. Yeah. So you can see, like, I started with my personal details. In this master document, I have deleted few data which is confidential of my work experience and everything. So I have just formatted this master document, but it will give you a good idea how to create your own. Then I have written about me. Then all my education details, what I did in my school and everything, all my achievements in there. Then all my semester marks, if you can see. Then when I go down, now I am a bit of more systematic. So like, to ease my work, I just created a table, and then I add those things in my table instead of writing it sequentially. It helps, like, I like that way. So you can write it any way you want. You can just write it sequentially. That is also fine. It's your document. You can write it any way. So position, company, start date, end date, details. So like, I wrote all these things here. Then I go to my projects. So projects, again the same thing. Name, where I created my project, for when I created my project, the tech stack, the features, details, links of my project, the GitHub link and everywhere. So you can see, like, now for my project I wrote this much big, so this much big details, because that project was that much big. Like, I have to keep an idea of each and every feature during my interview, or during applying any job. So yeah. Then my project or my tech stack is there. Now my certifications. Now which certifications I have done, from on which platform I have done, like Coursera, Udemy, or if you people have done your Synergy course, you can add that also here. like who was your instructor or something. Like Andrew Ng is known everywhere, so you can just write his name here. So if you want to describe your certification, you can just describe like I had done a deep learning specialization course by deep learning AI taught by Andrew Ng that way. My verification links are here. Then the achievement column, these columns are your customizable. Like you can add, create. Like these are most common. Then individually you can just add, create. Like you have mentioned my team members. If I'm going fast, you can just tell. I will slow down. Yeah. So then I mentioned all my skills here, my programming skills, frameworks, then the databases, the utilities which I know, the field domains which I'm interested or which I know or which I have worked on, and everything. Then I have written details about my volunteer work. Then the languages I know, like most of the places and LinkedIn and everywhere, you have to add your languages and everything. So for that, I just wrote everything here. So it is like your complete portfolio document. Then all the YouTube links, like for college projects and for personal projects, we have added some YouTube videos. So I have added these links also here. Then my interest, hobbies, strength, weaknesses, publications, my test score. I can write any of my details here. I can add all my drive links and everything. So I hope you understand what is meant by master document. And see, this document is of 10 pages. But if you feel that 10 pages बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा, you can just separate the document. Like keep work experience in one document, keep projects in one document, keep all other personal details in one document. But keep those documents together. So when you want to read anything or when you want to search anything, that will help you a lot. So further, I will go to the text editor's website and I'll just give you overview of those websites. So first, starting with LaTeX. So yeah, so I had already logged in. So this is my Overleaf text editor, which uses the LaTeX format, and you can just edit your resume. You can create a new project. Now there is CV resume option. So you will find a lot of templates, example, and here. But the best template which everyone uses and which I feel is this. Yeah. So this is a template. I'll just click on it, and yeah, this template. Now, if you want to use LaTeX in your publications or you want to create reports and everything, it is a good practice to use a LaTeX. So you can just create a Word document and then you convert into LaTeX format. The most of the converters will convert them. So you can see this is the um, preview of your resume, and here is the text editor. So basically now here, if I do any editing, and I recompile. So yeah, you can see my name changed. I can just bold this. I can, change the construction of my resume. But this is the best resume format you can get in the market. Like you can understand, like he has written each and everything in his resume by reducing the font, by customizing it and everything. So you can, Param, I guess we can add the link in the text section. So everybody can, watch.
Yeah. I'll surely add the link right now so that you can go to the website and search by your own.
You can just open the link and keep, and after the session, you can just explore there. And now, after going to LaTeX, now we go to canva.com. So most of the people will be thinking like canva.com, like it is funny and everything, but sometimes it helps a lot. You can just search your templates, all your resume and everything. Yeah, so you have all these templates here, but I suggest is avoid using all these resumes. You can use any specific resume having a black and white format, that is fine. You can use all other specific formats. I will show you the format which I had used for my resume, and then I customized it as per my need. So yeah. So this is my resume format which I had used. You can see like how this is a column type resume. So and then I customized as per my resume. I will show my resume also. So that's okay. So you can just go and search on canva.com and most of the resumes you will find. Next is Visual CV. So in Visual CV, use it for creating your CVs because as I found that it is the best platform to create your CV. Now issue is it is paid. So you can just create one CV or resume. So yeah, so this is a visual editor. Like I can add tables, I can, give bold, I can add links and everything I can do. I added table, I customized my table and everything. And this is my basic editor where I just add details, I visualize it and I change everything. And here I can preview. So this is my CV. Now my CV includes each and every, almost everything from my master document, excepting the extra things like YouTube links and everything. So yeah. Now going to next is MS Talk and Word. The most of the people feel it easier, but yeah. So these are few of the resume templates provided by MS Doc. But if you are using this, I will suggest use this Serif one. So when you use this serif one, the reason behind is this serif is a column template. So keep resumes a column template. So that is the best practice. And you can download this and you can just edit in Word. Avoid editing in Google Docs. So yeah. So now after explaining you various uh, editors, I will explain my resume, my own resume, and what and why I added all those things. So I will go into my both versions. So this is my tech resume. You can see like this was my previous format. Yeah. So I converted this format to my resume. Now you can see I concised my resume and everywhere. But I have used more space because this I had applied for a technical internship. So I used this resume. You can see like I have added my phone number, my email. I'll just zoom it. My email address is my LinkedIn ID, my GitHub ID, my education details, my skills, my achievements, all my projects. And if I'm adding my projects, I will all like in my resume. The reason behind adding my projects is my latest project. I elaborated more, and I elaborated my projects based on the job profile which I was applying. So always keep in mind, make your resumes as per your requirements. Basically, if I'm applying for a database job, I will write the database part in these projects rather than deep learning or machine learning parts. So create your projects accordingly. Now, currently, I have not added anything about Synergy, but when I apply for a research assistantship or teaching assistantship in my masters, I will elaborate more about my Synergy and less about my internship cell work. Because when I apply for teaching assistantship or research assistantship, they always see how I teach, how I am good with people, and that way. So you can see like I have added only my core of the projects from all my projects because these are my top priority projects. But if I'm applying for any specific job, I will add those projects also. Now my achievements and everything. Now here in this my tech based job, I have not added my certifications because it was not needed, not my volunteer work also. But now I will explain my research based resume. Now, in this research-based resume, you will see that I have concised it. Like I was using a header, a more of space. So I concised my header because I wanted to add my modules. Now, in a research-based resume, if you want to apply as a research intern or something, you will have to add your courses, and all your educational details, and remove all your social interests, hobbies, and everything. So in your experience, I added my experience. Then I educational details are kept as it is. My skills are kept added as it is. Then my certifications, I added my certification, and I removed my chefpreneur achievement, and I just kept these three achievements. Now, one thing I did purposely was this space. If you notice this space here, I would like to tell that just keep maintain the space in your resume. Now, I purposely kept this to explain you the reason. Now, to maintain this space, I can just take these two and take it above, or I can, add one more project and anything. So, try to think how you can manage your resume. So, if you have any doubts in these resumes, you can just add in your text box. We will clear all your doubts in the end. Now, going to my CV. So I had made my CV using Visual CV. You can just check like my CV is of 4 page. My resume was of 1 page, but my CV is of 4 page because I have kept proper spacing and everything in my CV. CV is basically I will apply when I will apply for my masters. I will use this CV because they want to know each and everything about me. So you can see I have added my CV. I have not elaborated more of my work, but if you want, you can elaborate, but just don't overdo it. So then, like, yeah. So one thing I want to tell you about CV. If you are applying for a research assistantship and they specifically mention your CV, provide your educational details above after your summary. Now, if you are applying for a proper company or anything, provide your work experience above. So based on your requirements, you have to change the format of your CV. Take the headings up and down and just change your formats. You can see like I added a proper formatted CV. Then my educational details are kept below. Currently because this I made this CV keeping in mind that I'm applying in a company. Then achievements and everywhere. So yeah, I have not added much more things for currently, but you can add as much things as you want because the most important thing is resume and CV should be as you are selling yourself to the person. So now the last thing I want to tell is uh, create a master doc and keep on updating. Keep on updating means आज अगर कुछ गिटअप पे डाला उसको पब्लिक किया उसका लिंक डाल दो उसको प्राइवेट भी रखा उसका लिंक डाल दो just keep all those links in a master doc create a proper projects and everything details in your master doc CV your CV should be like master doc if you update your any work experience or project in a master doc just update in your CV otherwise CV need not be changed much. Next thing is resume. Sorry. So next thing is resume. Resume you have to make as per your job profile. Now job profile can be a tech-based job, a social marketing-based job, or a research intern, or a teaching assistantship, or if you want to apply for your masters, you can just change. Like if you are applying for a database job, you have to change your resume as per your need. So now I will be just giving a rough idea what things you should add, what things you should remove from a resume. So things to be added in a resume. These things are most common to be added in a resume are personal details, education, experience, project, skills. Now in a tech-based resume, you can add your achievements in a technical achievements. Technical achievement means if you have won any hackathons, or if you have won any coding competitions, you can add all those achievements. If you don't have much space in your resume, for example, if most of the people are first year to second year, so you don't have much work experience and projects, so you can add all your participation in your resume. In my initial phases, I had added my participations, but as gradually I came into my final year, I removed those participations because those are not needed now in my resume. Then CP websites like CodeChef or HackerRank, you can add all your CP links, all your CP IDs with your links in your resume to, if you are applying for a proper tech-based job. And when you are applying for a non-technical job like sales or social marketing or PR job or anything for a HR job, you can write your interest, soft skills, strengths, weaknesses, or your certifications regarding communication or PRs or sales or if you have done any previous work in your marketing or anywhere, you can add those things. But in a tech based job, avoid adding interest, soft skills and strength, because tech based recruiter knows कि वो सिर्फ resume भरने के लिए किया है, but those are not much needed for a tech based job. But if you go on a higher level for a tech based job, those things are also needed, but at that time they ask for your curriculum vitae. So in curriculum vitae all these things will come. So, and you can add your creative design links if you are applying for a creative job. कि person can see कि इसने क्या क्या किया है design पे. So for a research intern job, you can add a CV or a resume. So you can add all your certification. Now research interns are basically, they want कि you should be academically strong. तो ही आपको research intern में डालेंगे. So you add all your educational courses, matlab the courses, like if you have a 10 pointer or 9 pointer in any of your subject, just add those subjects in your research intern jobs. Add the relevant subjects based on the research internship you have. Elaborate educational details. For example, if you have hold any rank or any achievements, like if you have a good percentage, you can just add all those things for a research intern job. Now, when you apply for a MS or a MBA or masters anywhere in future, you can add all your volunteer work, because if you go out of India, they also check your volunteer work. You need to add your certification, courses certifications, or any personal certifications if you have. Any participation certification also, they take it. So when you apply for masters, your participation certifications are also important. You should add all your achievements. All your achievement means each and everything that you have achieved till now. If you are a team lead in any of your company, you can add all those things. Then you should add all your skills, starting from tech-based skills, from soft skills like talking, communication, leadership, and all those things. You can add your strengths, weaknesses, and everything. Yeah. So this thing which I was mentioning till now was always try to keep resume as per your job profile. Means if you are applying for a Node developer, add your projects or work experience for a Node developer on top, elaborate them more, and baki ka space mein you can add all other things. If you are applying for a machine learning or deep learning job, you can elaborate the things which you have done for a machine learning or a deep learning projects and experiences. If you are applying for a database job, just in any of the project database to use करते ही हो, तो you can elaborate more कि वो database related उसमें क्या किया है and everything. So this is up to you, like how you create your resume. But you should know, like, and the last thing is, don't fool like the recruiter. Like if you, for example, अगर SQL आता है तो ही डालो resume में, SQL नहीं आता है, अगर एकदम बेसिक्स भी आता है तो भी मत डालो, जो परफेक्टली आता है वही डालो. अदरवाइज रिक्रूटर पे बैड इमेज पड़ेगा कि दिस पर्सन हैज एडेड द थिंग्स व्हिच ही डजंट नो और एनीथिंग. So now talking about our future courses, if you like our course and if you want to attend any of this course, we will be providing messages about our future courses. We are having crash course on GitHub in next week. Then we will go with basics of Python programming. Then we will start with, as we have completed a front-end development course, we will start with back-end development course. Person who has not attended a front-end development course can also attend back-end development course, as basics of front-end are known to everyone. So we will be taking Flask as it is the most widely and easy to use. And based on the requirements, we will go for Django and Node if people need. Then along with, as you people are entering your third year of engineering, and in your jobs and in your any technical analysis in engineering, you need to have your data structures and algorithms strong. So we are planning to take a course on data structures and algorithm, which will help you during your engineering subject or practicals, as well as during your job interviews or your internship interviews in future. Now the approach and methodology for a front-end development course was that we had like kept weekly tests and everything, but that approach will be different, as from 1st August सबके colleges are starting. So we will not keep weekly tests and everything. We will just ask to submit your projects. We will give you sufficient time. You do not need to worry. We will ask you for your projects. We will review each and every project. We will help you if you need any help in your project, and then we will select top projects and upload and on our social media handle. So I would like to tell, like, during this 4 months, on you don't know ahead how situation will be. So if you like this quote which I had read on Instagram, 6 months of your focus and hard work can put your 5 years can put you 5 years ahead in your life. So don't underestimate power of your consistency and desire. So I don't say कि पूरा मतलब don't do time pass. I myself watch series and everything, but that should be limited. So if you have 24 hours a day, give your best time in learning new things, exploring new things. I'm not telling ki go study, go learn, go like theory पढ़ो and everything, but just explore. अगर for example you have ample amount of time, front end शुरू करो, front end मजा नहीं आ रहा है, go to some another thing. Python सीखो, Java सीखो, C programming सीखो. You have time कि अगर मजा नहीं आ रहा है, you can just shift to any other thing. So just utilize your time in your most efficient way.
I'd like to just request you all to follow us on our social media handles. It will motivate us to give you better content. And
Thank you so much.